Hey man, you see what it is that you horror podcast back at it again, man. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody, man. Hope everybody had a good one. I know Joe, you know what I'm saying, was holding it down with family. Still got that maraschino cherry itis. You know what I'm saying? That charcoal cherry
Wake
nap
me
in the
up in
moon.
December, son.
Son, it's right around the corner. It's a week away, fam. It's a
Wake
week
me
away.
up in December, kid. It's coming.
Yeah,
It's
man.
coming. Portal and signing day. It's coming.
Yeah, Porter's a week away. Bowl game's a week away from deciding where we're gonna go. Hopefully, it's the Gator Bowl. You know what I'm saying? So I could drive to that. That ain't too far from the house.
Or the Duke Mayo Bowl in Charlotte. You know what
Yeah,
I
yeah.
mean? So I can get there.
Yeah. We're touring there. We're touring there. We're gonna battle that one out. Hey man, how was your Thanksgiving?
Tiring, man.
It's a lot.
Good to see family though, man, but
Yeah,
tiring. Better to chill.
yeah, man. Wifey spent the sick, man. So just kind of, you know what I'm saying, been taking care of her, man. You know what I'm saying? Did a little something on Friday. But we're just gonna be kicking back at the crib, man. Hope everybody had a good Thanksgiving, man. Thank you to everybody. You know what I'm saying that likes, comments, share, subscribes. Appreciate all the questions that we're gonna answer on today's show. Remember to
Yep.
go to youheardpodcast.com and for that merch. You know what I'm saying? Get that Wake Me Up in December, that Joe special, that Let Him Cook. You know what I'm saying? That's me. A Benny
Yep.
Boondock special. You know what I'm saying? We out there, man. We're waiting on the CB thing, but he's in the middle of the moving, and we'll get his chips on deck. All right, man. Let's get into this intro and let's talk about our solid victory against Boston College.
Welcome to the You Heard podcast with your hosts, Ben, Joe, and CP. We're here to cover everything related to Miami Hurricanes football, from hot topics to pre- and post-game analysis.
All right,
Okay,
we'll
yeah,
talk
please.
about it at the end. We'll talk about it.
No, let's talk about that right now because you completely flipped it on me now.
I hate him for knowing this, bro. This man knew the brand, dog.
Okay, I don't appreciate that. I'm saying, like, I don't
I
appreciate
mean, what did you say? What are we talking about, son?
Get into our topic. I felt
Keeping it a buck.
You heard?
all right, man. What was before we get into like the details of the game, right? What was your feeling going into the game against Boston College and Chestnut Hill, man?
I felt like it should have been a victory. You know what I mean? We definitely been playing hard
Mhm.
without the results that we wanted. So I don't question how Coach Cristobal has the team playing and fighting.
Right. Right.
We can see that. You know, if you have eyes, you can see that. So I expected the same thing in Chestnut Hill.
Chestnut Hill.
I knew that the quarterback was going to be a beast to stop. You know what I mean? And they came out and schemed us up on the first drive, but you know, Coach Guidry adjusted like he always did, and you know, we did our thing after that, man. So yeah, it was what I expected.
Yeah. I approached the game, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, obviously, it was a noon game, kind of a sleepy game. I was wondering how they would show up. Like, I was like, all right, this is one of those games where we know if they folded in or if they didn't. They're gonna keep that like do they fold in? Like, yo, we gave all this effort all these weeks without the results. What's the point of showing up for the last game of the season? And they proved me wrong. I was like, I'm watching the whole time. I'm like, I don't recognize this offense. I recognize the defense. I've seen that every time. But going into it, I was like, man, this is nice to see. But as I'm watching it, I was like, and I'm starting to think about like I doing the show on Sunday. I started to get frustrated as I'm watching the game, right? Because this is the question that just stayed in my head the whole game. I didn't think the offense was phenomenal, right? Like it wasn't. They didn't rewrite the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like restructure the wheel, the whole whatever fucking saying that is, reinvent the wheel. You know what I'm saying? Like they didn't do any of that. It just seemed like the offense they'd been running, but like it just worked better. As far as look, you always got the offensive eye better than mine. I thought it was going to be a bad game in the first drive when Tyler missed two open receivers down the field for touchdowns. You know what I'm saying? I was like, oh shit, he's going to miss again. They're going to play zone and we're going to be fucked. Honestly, like that's how I felt. Just on the straight up, just like it doesn't matter what the defense. That I was like, all right, here we go again, and then it just didn't happen. So I was pleasantly surprised about that. How'd you feel about it?
Yeah, man, it's just like we've been saying all year, man. It's just the simple things, um, putting players in motion so we can see if it's man or zone. Um, in the red zone, hitting your 6'5" receiver on a slant
Who knew?
or a fade. You know what I mean? Simple things. Getting your tight end out in a route, even if they don't get the ball,
Right.
having them occupy space in a zone or find space in a zone, getting your backs out, in a route. Just simple things like that. It's not it's nothing
Ain't crazy.
crazy. You know what I
Nothing
mean?
crazy,
So
son.
again, we will never know unless we're in the building what has happened. If it's the head coach that has changed things up, or if it's Coach Dawson. I have my thoughts on it,
Mhm.
but we will never know. They're just thoughts. They're just
Yeah.
opinions or thoughts. So,
Yeah, we'll never
but
get confirmation.
yeah, the offense did what they're supposed to do, man. Just so.
Yeah, right. Like it wasn't like we were watching some crazy, I'm saying, Hawaii in the 2000s offense, right? Like some
Mhm.
wild shit. Like it was just basic fundamental shit. Like so this whole time when the offense was struggling, we just couldn't do the simple things, because it's true, right? Like you look at the times we earlier in our struggles in the 3-game losses, when we'd have the tight end in the field, it wasn't like he ran around, just like he had nobody to block, and
Mhm.
Tyler still had the ball.
It was a lot of max protection. You know what I mean? A lot of max
Yeah.
protection, keeping backs in to block, keeping tight ends to block when our O line was doing just fine. We didn't
Yeah.
we didn't need to max protect.
And you don't need 6 seconds for a play to develop,
Mhm.
right? Like, in no point should that be a play that no play should take 6 seconds. Like
Mhm.
that should just not happen. Like it just 6 seconds. You just look at, they're gonna cover it up. Like I
And
remember,
also, TVD helped himself by stepping up and pressuring. So if linebackers are sitting in the zone, if he steps up and gives the threat of a run, they have to come up. So that
and
left
even
people
that,
open behind them. So
and
that
even
helped.
that, and even that wasn't some extravagant athletic shit. It was just like minor steps having the defense react. It was like,
Mhm.
again, like we weren't acting like, oh, I'm gonna show you the stats. Shout out to Kane's Chief and everybody who shared the graphic on Twitter about the where we were in 22 to where we were in 23. But like it wasn't like Tyler was being asked to do a whole lot, which just makes me ask more questions about the 5 losses than I have. You know what I mean? Like I don't understand, bro. Like Tyler wasn't superb. He was a serviceable quarterback, right? He had a couple good passes to X. I mean, he just did like the standard things being asked of a quarterback at that level. You know
Well,
what I'm
he
saying?
looked healthy if he wasn't healthy before. You know what I
Right,
mean? I think that can be a difference if we were told about an injury,
right. Crazy injury.
ligament detached from
No,
whatever the injury
no,
was.
the muscle off the skin, son. Like the
Let's say
muscles off the
a
skin.
lower extremity injury
Yeah,
that would make it hard for him to do the things that we saw Saturday. You know what I
facts.
mean? So, and it showed with the arm strength. Yo, he threw a bullet to Jacoby George, son. It was
Yeah,
like it
where's that been?
looked
Yeah.
like a good 20-yard comeback or something. He threw a bullet, and he wasn't able to do that previous weeks. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
and we don't listen. We don't know, man. We don't
And
know.
the thing is, like, we don't know all those things, right? We don't know if it was Mario putting his finger on the scale. We don't know if
Mhm.
it was Dawson overthinking the room. We don't know if it was Tyler's injuries. We don't know if it was all those things. but like I find it difficult. Like the passes are the passes, but the turnovers I still find inexcusable. You know what I'm saying? Like, because I don't understand how those happen. Like, because they were all similar kind of turnovers.
Well, so uh, let's point to the turnovers where the receiver was open and the ball was underthrown.
Yeah.
That can definitely be a lower
Yes.
extremity thing where he
Mhm.
didn't have enough on it, to drive the ball down the field.
Yeah.
And let's keep it a buck. If the quarterback room was positioned how it was supposed to be positioned to
Mhm.
start the season, we may not even be talking about this. We should have
Yeah.
had a transfer in that room. We should have
Yeah.
had it should have been whatever. But
A lot of things. A lot of
a
things.
lot
Yeah.
of things. Yeah, that quarterback room was not treated correctly. So
No. There was a lot of missteps on the grown ups in the building.
yeah.
If we're keeping it a buck, it should have been. Look. A lot of people disagree with me, right? Like, and that's fine. I don't say these are my opinions. You don't have to take them as fact. But the room should have been different. But I remember overreacting when Tyler was getting ready to head to Alabama because he could when he was getting ready to leave. We had no options. We would have had to bring a guy in like the summer that wasn't really. You know what I'm saying? That who knows who it could have been. So you overreact to the guy you overreact to the guy you know. And 100%. But yeah, man, like the room should have been positioned differently. You needed a junior, maybe a junior or a grad transfer and something. And I don't know exactly what class you wanted to go with because you have basically two freshmen, or you have a sophomore now, a redshirt sophomore in Jakari. But yeah, the room needed to have one more guy. Like to have
Listen,
three.
man, I'm getting number 11 ready. Son. Like we would have
Son,
just been working with
you know
11.
me, bro.
Oh, you the man, you the starter. Let's get
Yeah,
you ready. Let's get this offense going. Like that's what it would have been. Because growing up, we 7-5.
yeah,
So I think we could have been the same with Ja'Cory Harris.
yeah. Well,
I mean,
bro, yeah, no, we would have been different. That would have been different. With this Jakari Harris.
Ja'Cory Brown,
Yeah, yeah,
JB11. We could have been the
yeah.
same, or better. You know what I mean? So, but
Yeah, cause
that's another story.
yes, it's just frustrating. Like it's frustrating watching the offense execute again to the standard level. Shout out to first of all, shout out to X showing up again second week in a row. You know what I'm saying? Those two go hand in hand. If Tyler's cooking, X is cooking. Because if Tyler's not cooking, X is nowhere to be found. And look, our guy Flo was on the show, said that we don't have guys that can separate from the ball, right? Yo, X was wide open. X was open. X wasn't making that many contested catches.
Yeah.
Like
I think they were sitting in zone for the most part.
Yeah.
On a couple of those things, but I think separation wise and getting over. I think Jacoby George is probably the best,
Yes.
Man beater in the room. But I see, I see what he's saying with that.
Yeah. There was a couple times, a couple passes, like I said, that they got separation. Like I don't know if it was the talent level of a Boston College, but look, to me, I'm mad disrespectful. I don't think other teams besides maybe one has the talent level that we have in the ACC. So I don't think any corner should. I think this offense should have done that to every defense they faced. You get what I'm saying? Like I don't think there was a holy shit, that defense is incredible. And again, like I'm saying it as a disrespectful Miami fan. I'm not giving them credit because a lot of times I think is what we didn't do. Right? Like there was a lot of times when we should like this offense that we did is no fucking completely different, you know what I'm saying? Out of left field offense. We're like, holy, this is crazy. We doing all this shit. We doing triple fucking, you know what I'm saying? Triple option, wing T to a spread. You know what I'm saying? Like we didn't switch it all up. It was just, I find it frustrating as far as the offense.
Yeah, it's definitely something that's going on in the building that we don't know. Maybe we will never know, but it's definitely something that we all hope that Coach Cristobal gets fixed, man, and handles it differently this season. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, no. All right, man. That's enough about the offense and my complaints about Tyler and all that. Now, one thing I will say, man, that you touched on, this team did not quit, man. This team didn't fold. This team that there was effort 100% of the time. Yo, it was that was the second more surprising thing to see, besides the offense being with like the defense cooked. You got to see the young guys play towards the end. What was your impression about the performance of the game, man?
culture wise, yeah, man. Listen, you take on the personality of your leader all the time. I don't care. Listen, man, I don't care what we're talking about in your household.
Yep.
You know what I mean? At your job, in sports. You know what I mean? If your leader's lackluster, you're gonna be lackluster. If your leader don't care that you come back 15 minutes late from lunch, that's what you're gonna do. You know what I mean? If your parents don't care that you don't turn in your homework, then you ain't gonna do your homework or turn it in. This is what it is, man. If your leader doesn't quit, if your leader works tirelessly, if your leader don't take that bullshit, you know, he not gonna let you jog on the field or talk back or whatever. Whatever the rules are. If he sticks to his guns, that's what you're gonna do. That's what you're gonna do on the field, man. And that's what this team is doing, obviously. If we're talking about what looks different, it's obvious, man. If people can stop being emotional and look at what's really going on, there's obvious change. Like we all see that. Stop playing. We all see that.
So shout out to, like I said, shout out to Kane's Chief. And I saw Kane's film and a bunch of other people share this on Twitter. I always want to give credit. We don't act like we come up with this shit. You know what I'm saying? We do this with y'all and for y'all. So in 22, these are the stats and the rankings that we had for all these different statistics, different places. For run per Pro Football Focus, run defense, we're from 35 to 21st. Tackling from 110th to 47th. Pass rush from 25th to 16th. Scoring defense from 69th to 40th. Total defense from 65th to 26th. Sacks, we had a good sack year 20 and 22, which is crazy. Yes, from 19 to 12. Tackles for loss from 62nd to 17. Fumbles forced from 62nd to 18. Rush defense from 52nd to 13. Strength of schedule from 68 to 30. So we had a tough schedule. And even like that is measurable. That is, you know what I'm saying, by the people who look at all this nerdy shit and watch all the metrics, man, all the advanced metrics. They said we improved. The difference is obviously the turnovers, right? And the one kneel. That we're a kneel away from being 8-4 and how different the season is. Look, I'm not here I'm emotional about this shit too. I'm one of y'all. I'm not above being emotional. I get mad too. That's why I don't tweet through games, man, because I'd be saying some wild shit if I tweeted through games. And I do. And I'd say wild shit to y'all. We in a group chat about it. I say wild shit to y'all, and we keep it private. You know what I'm saying? But if you take those things away, it's obvious the team is better from last year.
Absolutely.
Right? And the team is going to be – your dog's wilding, son. And the team is going to be better next year.
And more importantly, we see it. We see it. Yeah. You watch the games. You know what I mean? We see it. The record doesn't reflect, and that's what everybody cares about. That's the most important things, the wins. You know what I mean? But you can see it getting better. Like, come on. You can see it.
You can tell the room is different. You can tell rooms are different. Like, I made people upset when I go, yo, for me next year, Popo and Pulliam are my starters, at least seeing the field 60% of the time. People were like, oh, boy, we're Kiko and West. I was like, I should have clarified. I was like, in a 3-3-5, to me, I will put Popo and Pulliam on the sides of Kiko. That's if Kiko stays. Like, people, you know what I'm saying? Like, people are
right. Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying? Like, and again, I'm not saying I'm not belittling West to what he's doing. I'm just saying for my preference, I like a different size. Like, I liked what I saw movement wise from a Popo. But on some simple shit, like they covered the tight ends. Sound like we were getting killed by that tight end the week before. I was like, yeah, well, would have loved to have seen something different, but obviously they're not ready. It was a couple drives that they had, but that linebacker room is gonna be better next year with a Cameron Bobby Pruitt coming in. You know they're gonna probably go after somebody in the transfer portal. Like they're gonna make moves, and people are gonna leave that are never gonna see the field. This team is better, but fam, next year's got to be a time where we went through the record and we'll break it down before the season. Next year's got to be at least a 9 to 10 win season.
Yep.
You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
What'd you think what'd you think about my guy Amon Moten with that pick, son? That's my
going
guy.
Crazy, man. Me and my son was watching it, man. We was going crazy. Yeah, that was hilarious, man.
Son, that's my guy.
And you know what's dope? Just looking at the team celebrating, like when Mr. Pulliam got his pick, man, the team was going bananas. You know what I mean? That's very dope. You know, that's dope.
That shows you that together, man. That shows you that together. So I remember after the A&M game, me and Polk went down. Shout out to our guy Polk, man. Me and Polk went downstairs, you know what I'm saying, talked to some of the players. And Popo was one of the ones that you know what I'm saying, briefly interacted with. Just a couple, you know what I'm saying, just saying what's up, man. You know what I'm saying? Thank you for coming to the U, yada yada. And he was like, yo, man, like y'all, he goes, I'm paraphrasing, this is a long time ago. And he was like, yo, man, y'all gonna see. Like it might not show, like y'all gonna see. Like we working, man. Like these young, like, and I was like this, because again, like I didn't ask him, right? I wasn't like, yo, man, how's the linebacker room looking? Like I don't get it, you know what I'm saying? These are young men, but it's like, yo, and he's big and he's, you know what I'm saying, he's big dude, bro. Like dude's 19 years old. I was like, damn, all right. So I was like, all right, cool, man. And then just seeing them perform, you know what I'm saying, getting a chance to see the field. You saw Pulliam damn near like in tears, man, how happy he was to be out there. And the whole crowd still rocking with him. It was dope, man. It was dope. Yeah, man, look, I got caught up. Like they might not play over Kiko and West. But if they play over Kiko and West, it's because they outperformed them. Maybe not Kiko. I think if Kiko comes back, I got him in Sharpie. You know what I'm saying? If we're keeping it a buck, I got him in Sharpie because that dude is serious in the middle. But those young boys are going to
get some meaningful snaps, man, because we, you know, just the depth of the linebacker room. I think Corey Flagg will probably bounce. You know, but think about people who can bounce, who were playing. KJ Cloyd can bounce. He can come back, but he can bounce.
Yeah, he has that redshirt year.
Yeah, Kiko can bounce and Flagg can bounce. So let's say Kiko stays and Flagg and KJ Cloyd bounce. So you got
Chase Smith will probably bounce.
Chase, yeah, I think Chase is going to come back, but Chase can bounce. But you still got, you know, you got spots because they were 4-5. They were 4 deep at linebacker.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So yeah, you got, it's just next people up, you know, 3-4 deep.
Yeah, because you had KJ Flagg, Kiko, and West, who's basically the 4 that they rotated in there.
Yeah, you know what I mean? So
yeah, look, there's gonna be, and we'll talk about it next week when we start seeing the graphics pop up about who's going in the transfer portal. We're just saying as far as depth and like where for these young guys to get an opportunity to play somewhere. It's never like I'm not approaching this shit anymore like, oh, I want them off the team. I don't think there's anybody on the team that I'd be like, yo, get him the fuck out of here. That was more like last year that I had that energy, but this year I'm just like, yo, they need an opportunity to see what they got to hopefully make it to the league next year, because I think there's talented guys behind them. They just need an opportunity. But yeah, man. Yo, we got a lot of questions, but I realized, Joe, that the last 2 episodes I've completely forgotten to do this, so let's drop this Canes Wear.
Welcome to Canes Wear.
New store, new items, same great experience. Family owned and operated since 2010, Caneswear has the latest merchandise from the Miami Hurricanes, Miami Dolphins, Florida Panthers, Inter Miami CF, and more. Come visit us at our store in Davie on University Drive, just south of 595, or online at caneswear.com. Caneswear, the spot Miami fans shop.
What?
Hey, man. We dropped the graphic on our You Heard on Twitter. Also, make sure to go to youheardpodcast.com. I can submit your questions on there. We get an email, and we'll talk about it on the show. Youheardpodcast.com. Make sure you check out the merch. Got that Wake Me Up in December, Let Them Cook. Got that vintage You Heard logo, and the official You Heard logo shirts on there. The hoodies are dope, man. So y'all make sure to check them out. So we dropped the graphic, and I'm saying appreciate everybody for all the questions. So we got a question from Troy Patton. Do we push to flip Barney, the Tennessee commit, or are we done at recruiting wide receiver? And the question, we got this question a lot, so we're just gonna cover it right off top. Who we playing at quarterback in the bowl game?
Is Barney the Nebraska kid, the kid who went to Nebraska?
Yeah, it's the dude that went to Nebraska. Yeah. We covered him on the show.
We don't think we push to flip him. I think we're good at the receiver room,
except for one. Except for one. Then
if we have JoJo, we have Chance,
Nikar.
We have Nikar. I think we good there. I think there's one spot.
Yes,
for one person.
There's a gold star on that spot.
Yeah, one star, one person.
Yeah.
So who playing QB for the game? Shit.
Son, we don't know. Like, it's a frustrating topic, man. That was again another question that got asked on every other question. I just, move those out of the way. We don't know, man. I don't. You know who I want to start for the bowl game? JB11. Hope he put something on tape because, look, let's keep it a buck. The transfer portal opens on December 4th, but it closes January 4th. So technically, he can still play the bowl game and still jump in the portal.
If we don't see a graphic from JB11 on the 4th, I think he's staying.
Okay, all right, you heard it here first, man. So that's who will start because I think I see a graphic of TVD holding the football with, jumping into the portal. I think, look, and again, no knock on him. I just think he needs a fresh start. It's time for him to move on and he put good tape on, and somebody's going to be interested in him in the portal. You know what I'm saying? And I think that's just the move that he needs to make for his own sanity and for ours, man. Because the shit got crazy. Y'all heard the podcast when I went bananas. I don't want that again because it's like, when is he gonna do the thing where that one bad thing happens and then we're stuck in this limbo of who the fuck is gonna play behind him? I just don't want that again. I want more of the unknown. I think Tyler is a more known commodity and we know what it is. So I'm just ready to move on from that. No disrespect to Tyler and him, his family, him and his people. But JB11 for the bowl game, hopefully, is what what me and Joe are hoping for. All right, I got Poke. I felt like this is a personal question. Mine, son. Whose head will explode if TVD comes back? Mine. I'm not gonna go crazy. So I will say my head will explode. Joe, you answer the question before I. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't explode, but we just need to get. I'm more worried about getting the room together, the actual QB room, man, in place. That's what I'm worried about.
Yeah, so we'll talk about in the upcoming shows. We're going to talk about potential transfers and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? Once we start getting more names, I did like what I saw. I saw a little bit of the Tulane game, and I could see why people were so high on. Was it Pratt out of Tulane? I could see why. All right, so our guy I Can't Stand the Rain asks, should the bowl game only be played by players who are definitely returning next year? A good way to evaluate and gain experience. Joe, what you got?
Yeah, I think it's a good I guess audition moving into the next season to see what you have. Yeah, I think if you can, because we may not know who's going to transfer by the bowl game time.
True.
There may be more after the first window closes. Some people may get that talk, that exit you by the staff, that talk. You know what I mean? Like, yo, thank you, I appreciate you, but we think you should move on. So, yeah, I think though the bowl game is definitely the place to play some young guys and get some experience going.
Let me ask you, man. You think before I answer the question, matter of fact, let me answer the question first, then I'll ask the question that I have as a follow. Yeah, I see both sides of this one, man. Like, if I play devil's advocate, I see the guys who might not be in the plans for next year, but want to maybe get something else on tape. You know what I'm saying? If they're given the opportunity, but if they haven't been given the opportunities thus far, they're probably more likely to jump in the portal. So I think you're gonna have a lot higher likelihood of seeing the young guys just because guys are gonna go. Because you don't want to risk if you're gonna. I think if you're gonna jump in the portal, jump before the bowl game, because you don't want to risk some De'Aaron King type shit that you play the bowl game and you risk an injury when you want to go into your next team or the league. You know what I'm saying, with the clean bill of health. Now, Joe, the question I was going to ask you as far as the talk, right? The exit interview. I think that conversation needs to be had now.
Yeah.
Before I think you play who you play with in the bowl game. I think you need to clear those numbers out because look, we know Coach Cristobal is notorious for slow stepping, right? For taking his time, being methodical. I think you have to be ultra aggressive in the portal as far as quarterbacks and clearing numbers out. Like I was looking at the grads. I think we had 13 seniors leave, so we got 13 scholarships coming off the books. We got, as of right now, we got 26 incoming freshmen. That's not saying who's going to flip, who we're going to flip to us. So as of right now, let's say 24, because some guys aren't coming until February, which I fucking hate. I don't, and I'll tell you about who that is in a second, that aren't coming until February. So you got to get those numbers in. So you got to, as of right now, minimum, you have to clear 13 players off your books as far as the scholarship. So you got to have those conversations with those 13 players and get those cleared out so you at least have those incoming freshmen. But those guys need to be, for their own, I think for their future, need to be off the books before the bowl game. What do you think about that? Or should you wait to try to see if you could get some bowl game run to get, some footage out there?
Yeah, it just depends. I'm sure the staff knows who they're going to have those talks with now. Right. I'm sure they know now. There may be some people on the fence. There may be some people on the fence that you may need to wait to have that conversation with, but I'm sure they have numbers. They have, who they want to clear out and make room for. I'm sure they have all that right now. So, yeah, those talks are definitely being had. There might have been a day off today, tomorrow, or Tuesday. Definitely going to have those exit interviews, man. So.
Yeah, got to have those conversations, man. And look, for those of you like, oh, how you having this conversation after? Because there's people that are like high off the win, right? Fam, like 7-5 is 7-5. If you want to get to the next step, you got to clear the room and keep raising the floor. Look, our effort is there and all, but that talent, like, no, I want that floor need to be raised every single time where you see the rotation of different receivers coming in, because all of them are trying as hard as those starting three. You know what I'm saying? You see the work in the RB room. You saw Fletch get some. You saw AJ get some. You see the work, because week to week, that's how it's evaluated. So that floor and that competition needs to be getting raised. And whoever needs to leave, because, look, it's a business decision. That's what the life we're in now. It's no longer protecting these. Like, now it's business, because now it's money. Because you need to up that bag for a Kiko. You need to up that bag for a Matt Lee. If you up the bag for them, there might not be that same kind of bag for other players that were there. Because those are my two guys that you need to keep back. You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know who's one-to-one a change for those positions. Right. So, you know what I mean? All right. I got Cuban Kane ask, outside of the QB position, what is the position that needs to step up to go to that 10-game winning level?
Mm.
You want me to go?
I think next year it's gonna be the O line again to me.
Mhm.
Because if you lose Javion Cohen, Matt Lee, and Jalen Rivers, that's the
Yeah.
main three. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So you'll be young again. You know, you'll have
Really
um,
young.
You'll have Francis, and you'll have Inez with starting experience.
Yeah.
But then your other three will be probably Matt McCoy, um, maybe Pan,
Maybe.
but he's coming off
Yeah.
of ACL, I think, right?
Yeah. He's coming off a
And,
bad injury. Yeah.
yeah, you know, and young guys, and you may have to get somebody at the out the portal at that. Well, we do have the cat from Harvard or something, right? Then he transferring to
Uh,
something, Yale or something.
I think Yale or Harvard or something. Yeah. Now he flipped. You talking about the Nino cat, Francavilla?
Yeah.
No, he's a flip. I don't think he's in. He's in the class
Okay,
though.
he wasn't.
He's
Okay, so he's
yeah
a high
yeah.
school. He wasn't in
He's a
college.
he wasn't in college.
Okay,
No.
okay. All right,
Yeah.
so you know, and I'm sure he, you know, he's
He's a
a
center.
center.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but you know, yeah. So that'll definitely have to be a position to be developed again. You
Yeah.
know,
Well,
going into next season. Yeah.
and
So
you're
I
gonna need more experienced guys because you don't want to go in with a whole bunch of guys figuring it out. No
yeah.
knock on the coaching staff, but you saw Francis 5-star. You saw him struggle towards the end of the year with the speed rush.
Mm.
That they're gonna identify that, and defenses will get smarter and shit like that. So you got to come in with some guys who have more experience. Probably another Javion Cohen-esque guy. You know what I'm
Mhm.
saying? Like that has that experience. Maybe not to that level. You know what I'm saying? Hopefully to that level because they're out there. There's a lot of coaching changes, and a lot of people could jump in the portal from schools that you know what I'm saying that have very high talented players.
Yep.
So yeah, offensive line, offensive line and defensive line for me, man. Like, and I mean, I don't know exactly, but like secondary, like we talked about it with Flo
Yeah,
secondary,
I would say
but it's
safety. To me, safeties
yeah,
in particular. Yeah.
yeah, safeties in the trenches. I think on both sides probably need some experience there. Like, yeah, you're gonna have a Messidor coming back. Hopefully, you're gonna have a Najee coming back, but you know, you're still gonna need probably one or two transfer portal guys in there. I think, as far as defensive ends and like a D end and a D tackle or two D tackles to build some depth out there. But yeah, it's mostly trenches, and with the receivers coming in, feel pretty good about it. All right, so our guy David, shout out to David, man. You know what I'm saying? Hooked it up. You know what I'm saying? That's your guy right there.
My guy. Well, look,
How
you
different?
spoil me, Dave. Hold up, Dave. You spoiled me, man. You spoiled me, man. I'm ready. I'm saving up right now. So, you know what I mean? We could perhaps get season tickets in your spot next season.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we looking, David. We looking. We trying to make some. Look, hey, I said it a couple of days ago. I think probably 2 weeks ago now. I don't know. All these days run together. Got 8 games in the state of Florida next year. Got the 6 games at home. Got USF in Gainesville, and I plan on being at damn near all of them if I can make it because that's all driving distance. That's those USF and Gainesville is right. There's an hour from my crib, man. That's easy money. So, all right, man. So David asks, how different will the offense be with a full spring with players and coaches? That is a really good question because
Yeah,
Dawson
I
came in
think it's
like 2
vital,
days
man.
before spring, right?
Yeah.
Like 2 days before spring last year.
Yeah, I think it's vital to keep the staff together, man, like continuity and all of that. You know, so I think people are not talking about what would happen if we lose another coordinator, lose another 2 coordinators, and have to get new coordinators in the building again.
Again, no.
I mean, you kind of got to build, man. At least give me 3 years, man. At least, you know. And then we can kind of keep the ship moving, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, it'll be vital. I think hopefully we keep everything the same. And you know, we can have the same language, the same calls, everything, you know, and keep it moving. Yeah. So that's a great question.
100% agree with you, man. Appreciate the question, David. It's vital, man. I think Lashley was the last coordinator that we had at more than 1 year in what 8 9 years. That was a constant change. Obviously the different administrations, different coaching staffs, all that shit. Yeah, I think it's important to keep Dawson and Gidry, man. Dawson needs the spring. You know what I'm saying? Evaluate, see what he needs. Um, build look, and this is another build more trust with Mario, man. Like you don't really know the guy. You know what I'm saying? Last year, you had the year of you know what I'm saying. You had the 12 games of battles and experience that you learn with him. Maybe your conversations can be a little bit different. I think that goes heavy too. I don't think that's something that people are talking about. That's something honestly that I just thought about. Like you build the longer you know somebody, the more comfortable and the more trust you build with them.
Mm-hmm.
So it'll be those conversations. If Mario is stepping in the room and like, hey man, let's do this more. Like maybe that's like let me work this. Let's figure it out. But I want to do this more. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? That back and forth could be different. So I think it's vital, man. I think it is vital to keep both of them. Regardless of how you feel about Dawson, I think
You going. You going. I don't hear you. They up. You go. I don't hear you. You muted.
son, every time I don't know. That's she's bugging. See, that's what happens for me talking too much about Mario. Like he found out happened. He was like, "Yo, they talking shit." Hey, look, it just you build trust, man. You do something like look look at the ways our shows have gone, right? Like we build chemistry. We don't even talk for the show. We didn't talk all weekend. You had family. You know what I'm saying? I was taking care of wifey, so like we was so we just jump on the show. The chemistry builds quicker the longer you know somebody. So hopefully Dawson can, you know what I'm saying, if that's the interaction they had, again, hypothesis, you know what I'm saying? Just our hypothesis. It yeah, we need it. He needs to stay, man. And yeah, like David, with your question, man, it'll be better because you don't have to teach all the same concepts. You could build upon those concepts and have more trust that the guys will know what they're doing. Because all the guys that didn't play like a Shimmy Shamar, receiver Robbie, you know what I'm saying? It's frustrating. A lot of the guys that are coming in, I think I heard it from Gabby from Through the Smoke with Gabby and David. That JoJo can come in early. That is an early enrollee because he does go to what is it, Chaminade, but he does like online. I don't know. It's some shit where like he could still come in early, but Chance can't come in early. I think Nikar is going to be here early, so it's going to be just two receivers, and the other ones will go to private school, so they won't be here till later. So that's a lot. That's Zaquan that doesn't come in till the summer. You know what I'm saying? The summer. There's a lot.
He's that Chaminade too, though.
Yeah, exactly. But JoJo's on some different shit. Like I think he does like online school, but he like plays for Chaminade. I don't know how it all works, man. I don't know. But that's what he said on the show. Who knows if that's true? Hopefully, again, if that's not true, a lot of this class doesn't come into the summer. So that's what I'm saying. And again, like all the receivers can stay, but I think if Tyler goes, I think X jumps too and goes with him as a safety blanket. It's the whole lot of technical difficulties on this one. That's wild style. But yeah, man. There's a lot of players that won't be coming into the summer, and you know that bothers me. But it is what it is. You know what I'm saying? The schools are the schools. They do what they want to do. All right. So this is a question from 818 Cali King. We got a couple more questions here. Which top QB should be intrigued to come play for Dawson?
All of them.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
All
just
of
all of them.
them.
Who do you like, Joe? Who do you like?
All right. So who's announced? We got to go with
Right.
who. Out of who's in the who's announced already? The kid from Texas A&M. No, yeah, the kid from Texas A&M announced. Max Johnson.
Max Johnson? No, thank
He
you.
announced.
I'm all good. If I want
Yeah.
an athletic, if I wanted
Oh,
to,
the small school kid. Freak, I forgot his name, man. His name.
what is it? I want to pull it up. Let's pull it. All right, man. So who you got? Who
Yeah,
you like?
I like the Will Rogers kid from
Me too.
Mississippi State.
Me too.
You know, has dominant. No, I'm not gonna say dominated, but put up fantastic numbers in the
Yep.
SEC.
Yep.
The if there's a negative, the issue I have is he's not very mobile. He's kind of another statue back
Okay.
there.
Well, I already got a
You know
problem
what I
with that. Yeah.
mean? But I think he'll make the right decisions. You know,
Which
what I
is
mean?
important.
He's
Yeah.
definitely an air raid. He's an air raid quarterback.
Yeah.
He's an air raid quarterback. You know what I mean?
Mike Leach, Mike Leach product. Committed to Mike Leach. Yep.
So he'll know the lingo. He'll know what Coach Dawson's trying to do. And
Mhm.
they'll be able to open up more. If
Yep.
allowed to, they'll be able to open up more.
If allowed to. But yeah, like again, that goes back to continuity. Because look, if we keep it a buck, let's say Dawson leaves, right? And you have another guy come in, it's gonna be the same issue next year. A guy that Coach Cristobal doesn't quite know unless he's worked with him before. Questions come in, you know, Mario's on the offensive side, wants to lean on the offensive line with just straight dives and ISOs, if that's what you know what I'm saying. Not even no pin and pulls, yada yada. Yeah. I like the Will Rogers guy. I like the Will Rogers kid. Who was that other name you were telling me?
Matthew Sluka.
Sluka.
Yeah, he went to Holy Cross, man, in college, man. But his numbers are astronomical, and he's, of course, the competition is the competition.
Yep.
You know, but you know the numbers are undeniable. He's more mobile. He can definitely get out the pocket. He has a big arm. And he has balls, man. Like he plays, you know what I mean? He don't back down. You know, I like him. I like him, man. So, but right now, Will Rogers would be my number one if I had to pick.
Yeah,
right now,
if that's jump that you know is in the portal. Yeah. Because anybody else is just hope. Like with the Pratt kid, you know what I'm saying? Everybody's just Malik Murphy. Everybody else is just speculation and hope. Is that, you know what I'm saying? And then it goes back to what I always be saying on the show, man. Like that hope shit of like who you want, and then it doesn't happen. You don't know what factors go into their decisions if they want to go somewhere else or if they want to stay with it. It looks like didn't they play Arch Manning in like their last game and skipped right over Malik Murphy, Texas? I don't even think they played Malik Murphy when they beat Texas Tech like 57-7. Yeah, so
Manning
that kind of. You know, as I said that doesn't bode well to my JB11 hopes and dreams. You never know. You never know. All right, man. Last question. Our guy Cooking Kane asked, this is a real one. How do you think Mario can improve his game day coaching? Does he hire an advisor for game day decisions like the Broncos did with Hackett last year? Obviously didn't work out very well with Hackett as he got fired in 1 year though. So how can you? I just want to add that in there. How can you approve that type of like? How can you go about that with somebody who you know is mad like a serious? You know what I'm saying? Like, isn't somebody that you got to come in there and like you got to be on your P's and Q's, man. Like how do you tell them, yo, man, you shouldn't have called a timeout there? Why you always calling the second timeout on the goal line? Is fucking beyond me on either side.
Well, the one thing I think we know is that Coach Cristobal is going to try to improve. You know what I mean? He's going to look at all aspects, all areas, and he's going to try to improve. Now, is his stubbornness going to get in the way of some improvement? I don't know. You know what I mean?
Can I ask you something?
Yeah.
This is something that I was thinking about in the last show that I wanted to ask, but we got caught up in the conversation. You think, and this is just me asking, right? Like, you think because it means so much to him, like he played here, he's from here, you know what I'm saying? He came back here with like, and you know what I'm saying, man, she rest in peace with the loss of his mother. Like, you think it's not just stubbornness, but it's like almost like an obsession where like normal rational things that he would have done. He's, you know what I'm saying? Like, he's like, yo, nobody loves this shit more than me. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's that thing where, like, and he like if anybody shows a chink in their armor, it becomes like he spots it as, you know what I'm saying? Like I'm pop psychology type shit, right? Where like I just think like if I love this shit so much, can't nobody fuck with this. You know what I'm saying? If you're not throwing in the right ingredients, I don't want to hear shit you gotta say type shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, cause again, won championships here, bled for this shit, played on that same field, and his brother did too. Like that has to have a deeper meaning than anything we could really understand. Like I love this shit. I know I would be irrational as fuck. Like I'm irrational as fuck on this podcast. You know what I'm saying? Like I tinker. Y'all see the background change. Ain't nobody even noticed. Ain't no more moving pieces. You know what I'm saying? Like things like I tinker with this shit. But again, like I talk with you about it. Anything I come up with, you know what I'm saying? I spitball with you because we do this shit together. Like I don't know if there's that person in there. I don't know. It's just something that popped into my head and I wanted to get your thoughts on that.
Well, I'm sure he's obsessed with getting it right and getting shit back to where it's supposed to be. But with that obsession, you got to look at yourself, man. You have to look at yourself and how to get better. Like I said this before, man, the adults have to improve. They have to improve every year. You have to bring something different when you approach your team for this new 2024 season. It can't be the same as 2023. Like we say, right? 2022 is not 2023. 2023 is not going to be 2024.
Absolutely not.
Different. So you have to be better. You have to look at yourself and realize, damn, I shouldn't have called the timeout here. In this situation, I probably should have took the points. In this situation, I probably should have, taking a knee. He knows that, whatever. So nah. I don't give a fuck how at the bottom line is winning.
Yeah.
So whatever that takes, it takes to do that. So if you have to hire an advisor, you got to swallow your pride and do that shit or get better. One or the other. You know what I mean?
And it's also like, look, this isn't like it's clear that that's a deficiency, right? Like it's a flaw in there because we've seen it, right? It's not like, oh, this is a thing that we're projecting. No, man. Like we've seen it. We've seen that extra timeout. We've seen that wanting to play for a field goal instead of stepping on their fucking necks. We've seen those things happen. So those things can't continue because those are traits and glitches in you that other coaches are going to pick up on. If they know that you're going to play conservative and play for the field goal, they call their defense differently.
Right.
But if you keep showing those same tendencies, you know what I'm saying, you gotta go against that shit. So yeah, maybe he does need to hire an advisor to work with him in the off season. Shit, maybe a sports psychologist. You know what I'm saying? Like, because it's not just a young man that need that shit. I'm all about that shit, therapy and figuring how to manage that, because we know he's obsessive. He's fucking not sleeping at all. Getting ready to, whenever the coaches are able to travel to go visit recruits, because he's trying to get every fucking body to make this team better. Then with that, he needs to have that same addiction and obsession with looking in the mirror. It's like, yo, man, I cost my team this. These are the plays that I should have back. How can I get better?
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? It's just that simple. All right, man. I got nothing else. You got something, Joe?
Nah, check the website.
Right there, man. I said I was ready for that one. I was ready.
Yeah.
YouHeardPodcast.com, man. Get that. You know what I'm saying? Get that. Wake me up in December. You know what I'm saying? That's the recruiting model that we have. It is what it is. Fam, I was reading before we get up out of here. I was reading an article. Shout out to All Hurricanes, Brian Smith. I'm saying our guy CB cooks with them. Had an interview with Artavius Jones. Artavius Jones is likely not going to sign until February. So, yeah,
Was there a reason given?
No, there was no reason given. Just that he wants to take his time. And according to the thing, obviously Florida State, and Colorado were the teams mentioned above. You know what I'm saying? Besides Miami. But yeah, not till February. He's the second defensive lineman. Well, the second defensive tackle. You know what I'm saying? Dealing Russell's the other one, but yeah, not happy about that. I was not happy. Like I didn't like reading this shit. I don't appreciate it. Brian Smith, you did a great job with the interview, but also don't appreciate you dropping that on me because y'all know that's my guy. That's my guy in this recruiting class. So yeah, man. YouHeardPodcast.com. Saying check the merch, learn more about us, man. It's the You Heard Podcast, man. We out. Peace.